us are not so familiar with some of the concepts that we're talking about, but that's the reason why I'm here. And also a big shout out to Aja. I feel like she left this huge presence or this huge space for me to feel. So please, you can try to like encourage me, but please a big shout out to Aja once again. So I made some slides, and I'm hoping that the slides would make the session more interactive. But before I go on, how many of us are familiar with AI? And I'm not talking about Snapchat filters, I'm not talking about Instagram filters. How many of us are familiar with AI? I'm hearing ChatGPT, any other? Canva, another Meta AI. Now also, we are, love that. We are in a room filled with amazing women. Also, you all are so well dressed. Like I'm seeing really different fashion inspirations. I'm definitely going to steal after this. But how many of us as women always feel this body of stress of having to combine, juggle your life either as a 9-to-5er and as a creative, and also trying to keep up with social media because people tell you like, oh, you have to put your work out there. If your work is not out there, you're not going to sell yourself, you're not going to get that strategic listing presence, you're not going to put yourself as a top leader. All of those. How many of us have ever felt overburdened with that? And how many of us have ever tried to utilize AI for any of our processes as creatives? I love that. Now, how many of us have not, but are eager to? Very little hands. We don't have to be shy. I'm here to share the knowledge, and I'm really hoping that after this, it will inspire so many of us too. Now, this is our creative struggle. I'm also a creative, but not as professional as some of you. You feel overwhelmed with juggling multiple creative tasks. And as Nigerian women, not just Nigerian women, but as Nigerian women, you have to combine family, you have to combine work, you have to combine life as a whole. You also have to combine your health as well. And then there's too much time you spend in editing. How many of us make content and then after a while you're like, how do I edit this thing? You have an entire drive in your content and you're like, when am I going to edit this thing, right? We face that, I know. And then you struggle with social media content creation. Some days, your mind is just blank. What exactly am I going to post today? You're looking at your life and it is running with ideas, but you're not sure what exactly your audience wants, right? Awesome. But if I tell you that AI can actually help you save time, would you believe that? If I tell you can save time, would you not believe that? How many of you doubt that? Good, we're going. Now, if I also tell you that AI can actually help you create better and earn more, would you believe that? Now, there was something Paje was saying as to how when you're going into music, always have like an IP lawyer. What if I tell you that ChatGPT can help you analyze your contracts? How many of you are aware of that? How many of you are not aware of that? You can upload a document. I'll give you a very random example. If you can't, not everybody can afford a lawyer. Not everybody can afford a really good lawyer. But you can utilize AI in coming up with those contracts or in helping analyze. You can tell ChatGPT, you upload a contract, I tell ChatGPT, analyze this contract for me, tell me how it serves me, or if you're the person who is giving the contract, tell me how this contract serves the person who is going to be receiving it. And it will analyze every single thing, tell you the loopholes, tell you the right things. How many of you have tried things like that? If after this session you have something similar to that, I would love to encourage you to try out something like that. Now I'm just going to rush through all of this, like they have already mentioned. I am the executive director of Shipboard Africa. I'm really, really keen on seeing more women get into technology. So if this is something they're interested in, I'm more than happy to. I am also a board member focused on AI. It's a US board that's focused on driving policy for the AI industry. So why does AI actually matter for Nigerian creatives? Across the world, there are so many persons, creatives, around the world globally who are already utilizing artificial intelligence. But one thing that's very unfortunate for us as Nigerians, no, it's not our fault, but we have this tendency to always fall behind when it comes to anything creativity, anything technology, anything digital innovation. I don't want to use the big words, but that is the unfortunate reality. Now, if you have watched Netflix recently, right, and maybe you're trying to watch something that is not, the original language is not in English. If you watch Netflix recently, Netflix now utilizes AI to make sure that when you're watching a movie that the original language is not is in English, the words, the actors move synchronously with the being translated, right? What this simply means is, as Nigerians, we cannot afford to be on the backseat. We cannot afford to take the backseat in things like this. AI is definitely revolutionizing creative industries globally, and we have already put our name out there as, in terms of the creative space, Nigerians are the carry last. So we can definitely not afford to take last in this. You can utilize AI in so many ways, but these are just some of the 3 items that I have listed out here. You can utilize it in automating your repetitive tasks. Tasks like things around publishing your content, things around coming up with your content ideas, things around, also enhancing your creative input. If you don't have any idea what you want your content structure to look like, or you don't have any idea how you want your script writing to look like, AI is actually there to help you. Another thing is to increase your efficiency. When you have those productivity tools, when you have these AI platforms that you can utilize, this way you're no longer focused on doing multiple things at the same time. You're not focused on the main important things. Now, these are common myths that I have seen a lot of people talk about when they hear about AI. Oh, artificial intelligence, oh, it's going to take my job, it's going to replace me. Can you see the LOL there? That's a very loud lol. When people say, oh, AI is going to replace creative, like, that's actually a big fat lie. That's never going to happen, right? Now, the truth is, what artificial intelligence will do is it will continuously provide inspiration. But artificial intelligence is literally, right? Let me quickly explain as simple as I can. Artificial intelligence is literally, it is like a small brain, right? That you're feeding data, and this data is gotten from us as humans. So for artificial intelligence to actually work, it still needs us as humans to create that inspiration, and it lacks the human emotion. Nothing can actually replace us as humans. So that's one thing that if you don't leave anything in my session today, I want you to always remember, AI is actually here to help me. It's not here to take my job, right? It lacks just the human emotion, it lacks storytelling, and it lacks originality. That's another thing. So see it as a tool and not a competition. Now, another thing is, AI is only for those in tech. Well, it's partly right in the sense that the people in tech are the ones who pioneer it. But we create these solutions, these platforms for persons like you to actually use. Right? So there are numerous AI tools that are out there that are useful in different ways. I'm going to show some examples. You can use them in different fields and in different ways. Now, for example, in film and video production, before AI, you spend hours editing, color grading, finding music, and doing all of those things. But I'm going to also mention some AI platforms that I'd love for you to explore after this particular session. You have AI platforms like Runway Machine Learning. You have AI platforms like Descript. You have AI platforms like Akindele'S. This is beginning to sound like a developer session, but please bear with me. Now, what some of these things do is they help you automate your video enhancements, right? Another thing is in digital content creation. I think this is like my favorite part, but like I said, I also do like content. Even though it might not be as way major as some of you. But before AI, you spend hours brainstorming. You spend hours designing, coming up with your, maybe like the cover photo, coming up with the background. You know, with AI now, you can have like virtual backgrounds. You can have fake backgrounds and all of that. You still spend hours trying to edit before you know the entire thing is gone. But with things like Canva AI, most of these platforms already use them, and they have started implementing AI into it, because AI is literally the future of the world. You have things like Canva AI, you have CapCut AI, you also have ChatGPT, right? All of these things, they can help you auto-generate designs. You have, one thing I want to mention, in the movie industry, right, you see people utilizing artificial intelligence to act out an entire movie on its own, right? So AI is very helpful in coming up with your content ideas, it's very helpful in coming up with your schedule. All you can simply do is, for example, if you want to use ChatGPT, you go on ChatGPT. Oh, this is who my audience is. I am so and so niche. This is the type of videos that I like to do. Can you come up with a 1 week schedule? You can even try it right now on your phone. Can you come up with a 1 week schedule? Helping me, if whatever your goal is, and I promise you, see ChatGPT list out all of those things, right? With Canva AI, you can generate images. If you're trying to create stock photos, for example, for your product or your platform, whatever it is, all of that is on there. It can also help you with audience retention strategies. Now, in fashion design, before AI, AI, there's the manual sketching. People still do this, right? But with AI, you have all of these platforms, being X. It helps you create like virtual fashion designs, trend forecasting. That trend forecast is actually very important because as individuals, we move on very fast. But what's the next big thing, right? So AI can actually help you predict the future, and it helps you see all those things and start to work towards it. Now, another thing is in music and sound production. You spend long hours, you're mixing, you're mastering music, but with these platforms, you can actually generate AI beats and then move on with things real fast. In writing and storytelling, this is also another important part, but I feel like this is one part that a lot of people have overused and just to the point where it's beginning to lack some creativity, but I would like to encourage us to continue to maintain our creative balance on this. So before AI, you have things around that creative block, writer's block, slow editing. Again, you have platforms like ChatGPT. You have platforms like Pseudowrite, right? All of these can help you generate script ideas, content ideas, story ideas, and help you also in editing and things like this. Now, I wasn't expecting this screen to be this big, but I hope you can see. I just tried as much as possible to collate everything. In video, you have Runway ML, we have the script. In content, you have Panda AI, many of you know all of this. You have CapCut AI. In fashion, you have Claude, you have Bing. In music, you have Lander, you have Boomi. And in content writing, you have ChatGPT and you have Spirit. Once again, ChatGPT can be utilized in so many ways. If your only access right now is for ChatGPT, that's absolutely fine. And I know that on platforms like Snapchat, you have Snapchat AI, you have Meta AI, although they are not as advanced as platforms like ChatGPT, you can actually utilize it in using all of these things. Again, one thing that you have to see AI as is it's actually an assistant, and whatever you tell it to do, it will do. What you need to work on is being creative with your prompts. Your prompts is basically you commanding it to do this, do that, right? So imagine if you want to prepare soup, for example. I know we have content creators like Bibi who does amazing in the kitchen. Say, for example, you want to prepare, I want you to think, imagine, and create like an imagination around this. You want to do soup, for example. You have to tell it to make, for example, cut your vegetables, slice your okra, then put it in this format, put it in that format. That's literally the same thing you do when it comes to AI. So your platform, you're not actually limited with that. Now, how can artificial intelligence help you earn more? Because again, it's not, the only thing you don't want to do is create content. At the end of the day, you also want to make more money, right? Now, the first thing is it can help you sell AI-enhanced services. Your edited videos, your generated fashion concepts, your content schedule. I'm very keen around the content part, again, because I have interest in this. You can come up with a template, that thing that you're normally doing every single time that you're repeating, and you can create that into an actual template that ChatGPT will help you put out there and sell. Now, another thing is you can ask ChatGPT, this is what I do. I'm using ChatGPT because it's very, very popular. Everybody has access to it. You can ask ChatGPT, I do X, Y, Z in fashion. How can I make money from this? And it would list out multiple ideas. Again, if you don't have the money to maybe consult with a business person or a financial advisor, AI is there for you. Now, I'm not saying use AI to replace all of these persons, but it actually helps you get like a better understanding of things like this. Another thing is, it helps you create products that you can actually sell out, like I mentioned, templates, packages. It will also help you freelance more efficiently. Say, for example, you're a social media manager, right? You're managing multiple platforms. Now with AI tools, you can automate all of these platforms, and it will help you have more time to actually get more clients. Before that, you actually have to hire multiple persons to handle all of these things. You can utilize AI platforms to cut costs and things like that. So, before I wrap up, I don't know how many minutes I have, but before I wrap up, I want you to always remember this thing. First and foremost, AI is never going to take your job as a creative, right? Like I mentioned at the start of this conversation, artificial intelligence lacks human emotion. It lacks the critical thinking skills. Whatever you tell it is what it's going to do. So in tech, we call it the input and output. If you put in garbage, it's going to give you garbage as that as well. So remember that it will never take your job, but it is going to replace those who do not use it. So the only time you should be worried about when we're having digital revolution, meaning when the world is going fast and you're still stuck in that particular point, is at a point in time, it's definitely going to replace you because your skills are no longer going to be needed. So while leaving this very venue, what I want you to always remember is how can I utilize artificial intelligence to help me improve in whatever creative thing I am doing. Remember, it is there as your tool and not a competitor. Another thing is, like I said, it's not going to replace your human creativity. It will never, ever, ever, because it doesn't have interaction with humans. It doesn't have the day-to-day interaction. Maybe you meet somebody on the road, maybe you meet like a roadside seller, you have that conversation. Artificial intelligence can never do that, right? And again, for me personally, I'm very big on this. We need more African women representation in artificial intelligence. Now, I'll give an example. When you ask an AI platform or an AI tool to come up with black women doing XYZ, and then you compare it with saying, come up with white women doing XYZ, the contrast is very glaring. We need more women like you to be able to put in your inputs. The more you feed in data or whatever it is that you're doing, the more this artificial intelligence actually stores it in. So that when somebody in the US, when somebody in France is asking Nigerian women doing XYZ, it collates this data that you have imputed and is able to show them out there the same thing. Now, lastly, like I mentioned, artificial intelligence is your assistant. It is not your competition. So after today, I want you to take an experiment, whether you have tried out artificial intelligence or not, with those tools that I mentioned. Pick one AI tool and test it out this week. Automate one repetitive task that you're always doing every single day. That task that you know that you do it at least once every single day. Take a tool and try to automate it with that task and see how you can improve your process. So that thing that you probably spend 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours every single day doing, try to find a tool that will help you spend 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes doing it. Now also, please, I know that, yes, everybody loves filter. There's filter on literally every app right now. There's filter on TikTok. There's filter on Snapchat. There's filter on Facebook. There's filter everywhere. But as Nigerian creatives, I want us to move from just trivial usage. Because, like I said, we always have this tendency to lag behind whenever there's anything innovation. Before you say anything Nigeria, it takes like a very long time. So please try as much as possible to move from trivial use. You can continue to use it for your filters, for your gimmicks, and all of that, but actually start using it to make more money for yourself. Start using it to become more creative, to become more productive, boosting your efficiency and your income as well. Okay, I think I've got to the end. But before I wrap up, thank you, before I wrap up, I would like to say that, again, remember, the smartest people are the ones who are actually utilizing tools and platforms that the rest of the world is onto. So as you're leaving this place, remember, artificial intelligence is not my competitor. Artificial intelligence is my assistant, and I am about to put it out there to you. So thank you very much, everyone.